Tonight on Adem's Unsolved Mysteries. In the early 1980s, two children were born in the southern United States that with no connection have been thought to have been possessed by the same demon in their adulthoods. Join me for this spooky investigation for Halloween, and perhaps you can help solve a mystery. The Chris Chan Demon Theory. On the surface, this looks like a dumb question, but this green text goes over some interesting points, so let's look into it like an iceberg as a starting point. We're going to skip the parts that either don't add anything, or I can't find any information backing it up, so let's begin. Invent Sonichu for a school assignment, bizarrely passing with flying colors. Fails every other class. Before Sonichu was even thought up in Chris's head, there was Bionic the Hedgehog, an orange basketball-playing hedgehog that, according to Chris Chan, was created back in November 1996. Bionic and Sonichu have two main things in common on the surface. Both, just like every other Sonic OC, are just Sonic recolors and have half of Sonic's name in them. But something was different about Sonichu. Like the green text said, Chris Chan created Sonichu for a computer graphics class in March 2000 for a CD cover. The rules of the assignment said that copywritten characters were not allowed to be used. Chris would normally talk about video games in his classes, such as in his English class when he wrote the story How the Pokemon Came Into Our Pokeballs. Then it dawned on me, at that moment after lunch, much like the random creation of Bionic the Hedgehog during basketball practice in my freshman year, Sonichu just burst right into my imagination. A blur at first, but then it all became more clear and came together very well. So as swiftly as the creation of Bionic, I drew Sonichu on paper from imagination. Then I drew him on my currently open Photoshop program. After checking with Miss Chalifo, and my father who was big on copyrights and whatnot, Sonichu was legal then, and still is, and only mine, so, soon after the CD cover was made, printed and passed with a grade A+. Chris, just like the green text said, got an A+ on his assignment, when normally Chris would be a D+ student according to Manchester High Leaks, despite Chris always claiming to be on the honor roll. Before we go any further, meet author Charles Godfrey Leland, born August 15, 1824 and died March 20th, 1903. He was an American journalist that became interested in folklore and wrote books on both American and European folklore. In 1891, Charles wrote a book called Gypsy Sorcery and Fortune Telling. In this book, he writes of a demon known as the Cherrigan. He being who is most dreaded, as injuring cattle is the Cherrigan, or Cherrigino. These demons have the form of a hedgehog, are of yellowish color, and are half a yard in length, and the span of a breadth. In this book, the Cherrigan is said to attack horses, and while Chris is no horse, it's interesting to see that we're getting somewhere in this investigation, now that we have a demon that fits Sonichu's description. Sonichu gives Chris an amethyst ring that Chris believes contains his soul. While I couldn't find anything saying that Chris believes his soul is contained in the ring's stone, Eldar style, Chris does believe that the ring is the source of all of his powers. Chris invents an alternate world called CWCville, where Sonichu and pals are real and communicate with him via thoughts. CWCville is a fictional city in North Virginia where Chris Chan is the mayor. Before I go anywhere, it's important to know that to Chris, this city, everyone in it, and whatever happens there is real. The first time that Chris even named this city with its new spelling, CWCville, was when he made a Pokemon card called Quick City Gym back in 2001. Like I said earlier, Chris believes that Sonichu is real. Here's a call between Chris and Alec Benson Leary, where Chris talks about how fictional characters have a mind of their own.
I mean, as an individual, within his own world, outside of your control, Asperchu would not want that name. He would be in agreement with me and probably want to change his name to something like Mitch.
But the thing there is, Asperchu is not outside my control because it's a comic, and I am the creator and manager of his comic universe. So okay. As his creator, I decide what Asperchu wants and what he doesn't want and what his personality is like. I mean, don't you think?
Fairly. Have you ever watched the movie Who Framed Roger Rabbit?
Yes, I have. It was a good movie.
Yeah, you got the whole Toon world there. And within that, it would coincide with the comic book world, and every individual comic, published or unpublished, drawn all together. And within that world actually would reside your Asperchu, that he would be with his individual thoughts, and she gave him an adult attitude within his individual thoughts. He would hate having the name of Asperchu because it emphasizes his mental problem, or his special condition, and he's like in his process of wanting to move on from that and become more accessible in society. that he would not want a name that would make him feel
Okay,
like,
that's
as if he's still living it, even after he's fully recovered from it.
okay. But Chris, Who Framed Roger Rabbit? That was still a movie, and everything in it was predetermined by the movie writers and the director. And I mean, there is no, alternate cartoon world in reality. I mean, cartoon characters don't actually think and feel things.
You don't.
I got it. Okay, here's the question.
Obviously, are naive about that because you're not fully you're not understanding that possibility of that universe actually existing.
So you do believe that when an artist creates a cartoon character, that character actually becomes real? Is that what you're saying to me?
Within that universe, yes.
Chris not only believed that Sonichu had thoughts of its own, but that they could communicate together. Sonichu tells Chris to make medallions in Sonichu's image. Chris has worn one of them ever since and has given them to his friends and family. It's hard to imagine Chris Chan in your head without his Sonichu medallion. Not only did Chris Chan get his license picture taken with this on, but he also uses wearing it as a way to signal that he's being true and honest. The first medallion was made in late 2000, according to Chris, and the oldest picture of one being taken back in 2004. Chris gets big mad when somebody messes with one of these. When Liquid Chris made his own Sonichu medallion mocking it, Chris exploded.
Your medal is made out of paper! The whole length of time, the real medal has been made out of Crayola, fucking model, magic, and acrylic paint!
Chris believed that this medallion gave him power, but just like the One Ring, this likely demonic idol was destroyed by a troll going by the name of Blanca after tricking Chris into sending it to him. Chris Chan ended up making a Sonichu medallion that belongs in either Bloodborne or the Creepy Room in The Conjuring. Before his incarceration, Chris would even sell custom medallions online to anyone with the money. Sonichu teaches Chris how to use harmful magic signs, which he uses on his college dean. Chris has many enemies, and Mary Lee Walsh is one of them. After telling Chris that he would no longer be allowed to walk around with his attraction sign, Chris realized that he had no choice but to go full Super Saiyan on her.
No shin. We're going with the original. Just for that imposter that has worn the brown stripes all this time. Curse ye Kamehameha! Call the police on him.
Chris has cursed multiple people, such as praying for God and Jesus to kill Jacob Kendrick Howell, for his dog Patty's soul to go after Alec Benson Leary, and doing voodoo against the former president Donald J. Trump.
Mr. Trump, or Permert, as I like to call you in backward spelling, because you would hurt this country definitely. I have heard you won. Therefore, I hope you... Therefore, now you can feel the pain. I hope you feel this pain. Because you're a mean one, Mr. Trump. Now go die. And die again.
And why did he call him P. Mert? Well, that's because Chris believes that if you call somebody by their name backwards, it's another way to curse them. Sonichu tells Chris to draw pornography of him raping his only female friend. Meet Megan Schroeder. In 2004, at the Game Place, her and Chris met while playing a game of Yu-Gi-Oh! And over the next 2 years, Chris would develop an obsession over her. Before cell phones were as common as they are today, the two of them would email each other regularly. Chris even entered the Parappa the Rapper contest, where he tried to get a trip for two to Seattle that he could take Megan on.
AP Station, my name is Weston Chandler. I live in Bucksville, Virginia. I have a PSP, I like to rap. I play with the rapper, I go with you now. The only song I know is Master Onion, which I got from a demo I borrowed from my friend Megan.
I have the PSP and she don't. So give me the PSP, I've wrapped the wrapper, so I can give one to her, and then we can play it together. So here we go, we're gonna sing it now. Master Onion a la mode. Kick, punch, it's all in the mind. If you want to test me, I'm sure you'll find that you all things that I teach you sure to beat ya. Over the rest of that to listen to the teacher now. Kick, kick, punch, punch, chop, chop.
Chris lost the contest and then later admitted that the picture that he drew, She Came for CWC, was supposed to be Megan, after trolls thought that it was supposed to be his imaginary twin sister, Crystal. After Megan found this out, she completely cut contact up with Chris. At this point, the main people in Chris's life were his parents and online trolls. He was truly alone, with the exception of Sonichu. Sonichu tells Chris to drink his own sperm as part of a black magic ritual and stick stuff up his butt.
Let this be a lesson. Never drink your own sperm. That's a good lesson.
Oh yeah.
Wait, did that happen?
Yes, he drinks all his own sperm. He calls it recycling.
All of it?
Pretty sure.
So it's not just like, oh, it was like a dab, like, oh, I tried it one time, like some internet weirdos do that, right? Like, and they talk about it.
No, he
like
mixes it with
guy,
Fanta.
Ron Toye, who did that.
He mixes it with Fanta like he's like a mixologist at a bar, and I think he freezes it too in case he wants to like cry. I think the idea is like you cryogenically freeze sperm so that you can do like in vitro and shit. But it's just in the fridge.
Wait, let me get this straight. So he's drinking. Wait, let me get this straight.
Come on.
So he's drinking man juice, baby gravy.
Yeah. Mixed with Fanta, though.
Mixed with Fanta.
Yeah.
Why? Why would you
sterile, and I like
he doesn't want to waste any of it.
Chris would do what he called recycling his semen by mixing it with a drink such as Fanta, in the understanding that if spiders eat their web so that they can use it again, he should be able to do the same with his navy. Sonichu commands Chris to attack a local manager who said he didn't exist. I can't find anything that says that Michael Schneider, manager of the game place, said that Sonichu wasn't real. But on October 28, 2011, Chris tried to run him over in his car. Michael Schneider asked for Chris to get let off easy, and only wanted the Chandlers to pay for his medical bills. Chris's response in court was calling Michael Schneider a thieving liar. That being said, Chris saw anything mocking Sonichu as blasphemy. You saw how he reacted to Liquid Chris's paper medallion, and I want you to look at this. This is the paper medallion that Chris wore. It's not that good, but there's no question about whether or not it's Sonichu. And Chris didn't get mad that it was Sonichu, he got mad that it was made out of paper. So what if there was a real medallion, of a character that looked like Sonichu, but wasn't?
7 chaos peoples, evil forces are pursued by a hero with a medallion and his friends Max and Jimin too. A dark and desperate creature in seclusion it resides, and the evil robot Metal Jew who's collecting pickles and taking
Asperchu is a parody comic that features the same characters as the Sonichu comic, with of course the addition of Asperchu, who in the comic is Sonichu's brother. Chris was so offended by this comic, he even issued out a threat of his dead dog eating the souls of those involved with it.
And even Mao, I have less offense with Sean, by the way, but to those three, die in hell. And I hope the soul of my late dog eats at your souls and kills you in your sleep.
The rest of the screen text is really just trying to connect dots, but what if we can find some real proof that something is going on?
Which brings us to the 3 stages of demonic activity: infestation, oppression, and possession. Now, infestation, that's the whispering, the footsteps, the feeling of another presence, which ultimately grows into oppression. The 2nd stage. Now, this is where the victim, and it's usually the one who's the most psychologically vulnerable, is targeted specifically by an external force. Breaks the victim down, crushes their will, and once in a weakened state, leads them to the 3rd and final stage, possession.
That's right, possession. Chris claims to have been possessed by multiple beings. During BronyCon 2017, Chris can be seen dancing by himself. However, Chris claims that the entire time he was dancing, it was with Magi-chan. Fast forward to 2019, not only was Chris married to Magi-chan, but possessed by him too. Chris claims that from August 15th to September 14th, they had swapped bodies, and that everything Chris had done was really Magi-chan. But that's not even the first time Chris claims to have been possessed. In November 2017, Chris claims to have been possessed by a video game character named Yuzume. Miss Yuzume Tenaboshi. She had been dormant inside my Dreamcast, and I pulled her out. We've been sharing my body since. Yes, she is able to control my body, when she has control and speak through my lips in her voice. Chris performed a ritual where he left his Sega Dreamcast on for 24 hours in order to charge it, and was shocked when he touched the console. Chris says this was the spirit entering his body. Finally, from April 15th, 2020 to February 25th, 2021, Chris claims to have been possessed by Sonichu itself. Fast forward to the summer of 2021, and Chris was arrested for...
The dude goes out and allegedly, right? Allegedly, I've got to say allegedly, raped his mother. That's terrible. Who could have ever foreseen this happening? And now he's going to go to he is in big boy prison. He has a court date where he appears, and his biggest complaint is, I want you to let me out for a while so I can get my toys.
Chris was arrested on August 1st, 2021, outside of an inn that he was staying in after being found by the police. Chris Chan even gives the name Sonichu to the police.
Sonichu, your goddess, blue heart, and I continue to stand strong, and I maintain everything with quick will and my Sonichus and rose shoes and everybody.
Yeah, you're.
But there are a lot of crazy people out there, and Chris could easily be argued to be one. I believe I can show the exact point where the demon jumped ship to a new host.
Farewell, Chris Chan!
For those unaware, it was Ethan Oliver Ralph of the Killstream that filmed the arrest, and even got to have a quick conversation with Chris.
Christine, this man does want to help you.
Yeah, we were trying to get you on the show, but look, when you get out, look me up, Killstream. I don't know if you know who I am or not.
We're here to help you.
We saw what Josh was doing to you, so we wanted to come try to talk to you.
Go. Felt good.
Christine, is the merge coming?
All right.
It's happening now. We're on the very
The
last
merge,
thread.
it's happening right now, isn't it?
Right now, it is.
We're living it.
It's happening right now.
Here we have a group of people in Sonichu and Chris Chan iconography going out of their way to make contact with Chris. Did Sonichu see Ralph as the weakest target around and attach itself to him? I could go over Ralph after this incident, but since most of my viewers are familiar with Ralph's antics this year, I'm going to leave a link to another video I made on Ralph after Chris's arrest for anyone that needs to catch up. Ralph has been described as speedrunning lolcow status since this event, and it makes sense. The man has gotten beaten up in Portugal twice, has live-streamed himself drunk driving with his pregnant fiancée, live-streamed himself pissing all over his own floor exorcist style, and more. Even with his rampant drug use, Ralph was in such a freefall that Sonichu possessing him was more likely than not. I believe that this was Sonichu saying goodbye to Chris as it found a new host.
Farewell, Chris Chan!
And I also believe that somebody else put this puzzle together first, and when he found out that Ralph was coming to his native Europe, knew that he had to take action into his own hands.
I honestly want to get to fucking Portugal tomorrow, and if we can raise the money to get there, it'll fucking happen. This money is only going to getting me there for one fucking day to gun hunt it, find the fucking cunner. I've got a friend who will happily kick the shit out of him. I'm happy to say this on stream as well. Ralph, you'll probably get the shit kicked out of you again in Portugal if I have anything to do with it, and if people get me to Portugal, it'll fucking happen.
Pressing? Nah, we're too public right now.
Hey, what's up, bitch?
Hey, Dick, how you doing?
Hey, what's up, bitch?
What are you doing, bitch? Fuck out of my face. Get the fucking... Fuck you, prick.
Ralph, you're gonna get bad if you keep swearing. Stop swearing. Don't turn your fat cunt. Why are you swearing? Don't turn your fat cunt.
Fuck you, bitch. Prick.
Cog tried to put an end to Sonichu in the streets of Lisbon, and unfortunately failed. And Cog wasn't the only one to come to this conclusion either. Andy Worski and PPP of the Keno Casino both went investigating on Ralph's land for what they called the Bog Hog, and even got a clip of Ralph's grandfather saying how Ralph would sacrifice dogs as a child before getting chased out by the Bog Hog itself.
Jacks, weird, dirty gas stations, liquor stores. It's really living up to the name of Ralph Avenue, let me tell you. And it just fucking stinks. Just stinks of fucking dirty whiskey, and you just see like weird white trash junkies around. We better get the fuck out of here.
Yeah. Whoa, it's getting over here fast. Shit.
Oh my God, did you hear those noises?
Oh my God.
So like pig noises, man. Is the legend of the Bog Hog real, man? Oh, Clyde, why is he a piece of garbage and a pussy?
Because he hung dogs.
He killed dogs when he was a boy?
No. Tell us,
Clyde.
Papa Clyde.
How did he kill the dogs?
He killed them by hanging them, and he put the puppies in the oven.
Whoa, he hung them all mercilessly.
Put them in an oven?
Why would he do
Put the babies in an oven.
I think we made it, dude. I think we're good. It's the Run! It's after us! Baby! No! Oh my God, it's behind us! Oh my God, this way! Get the treasure! Okay, we're good. Oh my God.
Controlling Christian, Sonichu was confined to Ruckersville, Virginia, but with Ralph, it could go anywhere. Luckily, there are groups of people who have banned Ralph from going to certain places.
Don't you ever show up in Texas!
I'll come piss on your mother's grave.
Then come on down here and do it, dude. Come on down to Texas and do it right now. Come on down here.
Okay, maybe I will.
Tell me when, dude, and we'll be happy to handle that. You think you're all big and badass? Let me tell you something. What those Euro cucks did to you ain't gonna be shit. I'll make sure the capitalist army's there.
Ralph has been from stepping foot in many countries and multiple states with people on watch for any sign of him at all times all over the world. While it's unknown whether or not Sonichu the Cherrigan and the Bog Hog are the same entity, what is known is that so long as you live a somewhat healthy lifestyle and are not a total complete degenerate, you should be fine. You aren't, are you? Thanks for watching, guys, and happy Halloween. If you like this, check out my podcast Island Time, where me and my friends Unjust Josh and Dr. Big Mac talk about everything and anything. Thanks for watching, and hopefully I'll see you soon.